The trial is underway a year after a driver is killed during an encounter with a group of squeegee kids. Live pictures from the Baltimore City Council. Lawmakers are expected to take up a number of issues, including the future of the Baltimore Police Department. And live pictures outside right now after another hot and hazy day. We're tracking our next weather maker, bringing rain to the region and the smoke from those wildfires in Canada.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News at 6.
And good evening, everybody. I'm Mary Bubala. Fox 45 News at 6 starts right now with the exclusive Fox Track, your Baltimore Minute.
The city of Baltimore is a big bureaucracy, and its supporting cast is a cadre of unaccountable and not transparent nonprofit organizations.
The Family League of Baltimore City, Inc., given more than $14.5 million. The city gave the Associated Black Charities more than $13.7 million. And George Soros' nonprofit, Open Society Institute Baltimore, got $6 million in funding from Baltimore City. But how they're spending the money isn't clear.
I was elated because we did not want to postpone this case any further. If it gotten postponed today, then we will be waiting until 2024 to go to trial, and this doesn't require that. This case is not very complicated because you have a videotape that really shows what happened on that day.
After the postponement was denied, from there, jury selection began, which was especially stringent and strenuous for this case in particular, when weeding out those who wouldn't be able to deliver an unbiased decision.
Right now, the full Baltimore City Council is meeting. You're looking at live pictures. We're monitoring a number of important discussions. They include a proposal to reject rate hikes by BGE. The council will also take up the nomination of Richard Worley as the next BPD commissioner. And council members will also address event permitting in the city. They want to speak with DPW, DOT, and the police department on how events are organized in the city and how to shut down unpermitted events. Well, this meeting comes as more questions remain 2 weeks after 30 people were shot in South Baltimore during an unpermitted event. 2 young people were killed. Right now, the only one facing any charges in the shooting is 17-year-old seen with what appears to be a gun during the Brooklyn Day event. Fox 45 confirming the teen is now facing riot charges. And first on Fox tonight, you're about to hear the exclusive account from an 18-year-old who was shot during that event.
They let off like in total like 150 shots, almost 20 shots, if I'm not mistaken. But it was a lot of shooting, probably from people shooting, trying to protect themselves and stuff like that, not knowing what's really going on.
Our Amy Simpson has the teen's account first on Fox.
Theo Douglas says he just graduated from Benjamin Franklin High School this spring. He says he never expected to be one of Baltimore's shooting victims, and now he's ready to leave the city for good. Up and walking with a cane today.
And I can't walk too fast. I walk too fast, it hurts.
A little over 2 weeks after being shot in South Baltimore.
It all happened so fast.
Pasquane Theo Douglas says he was one of the 28 people shot and injured in the July 2nd mass shooting in Brooklyn homes. 2 others were killed in that spray of bullets.
As soon as I heard that one and I seen the flame off the gun, I ran.
This 18-year-old describes being shot 3 times, telling Fox 45 News he needed a 5-hour surgery.
But it was just like showing a party.
Spent 4 nights in the hospital and ultimately lost a testicle.
I'm still running, although I can't feel my leg. And I'm screaming, hit, hit, I'm hit. Nobody paying attention.
The teen sharing this short video of this year's block party.
Brooklyn Day, it happens literally every year. Literally every year. It was on social media, poster. They literally had posters like around Brooklyn and the projects.
By his estimate, the crowd growing to more than 1,000 people that Saturday night. At one point, saying the crowd scattered at the sound of fireworks, thinking they were gunshots instead.
It was people everywhere.
Today, the teen's mom.
He said, "Mom, I got shot. I'm at Arbor Hospital. Don't freak out. I'm okay."
Slamming the response from police leadership in the last 2 weeks.
And Brandon Scott defending him. No, come on, no. Nuh-uh. They need to do a better job.
Beside herself that she woke up to that phone call that Theo had been shot.
When I was growing up, we use our fists. We don't use gun. They need to cut out these guns.
Now her oldest son among the more than 350 people who've survived shootings in Baltimore just this year.
They need to put the guns down and start using their hands, if anything. A lot of people can't do nothing without a gun.
Today, Douglas appearing to question if the city's culture of violence can be quelled.
Because too much people already have guns, and it's not hard to get a gun. So like it's like hard to stop that. So I don't really know. Just got to be careful and not be at the wrong place, wrong time.
And that July 2nd mass shooting already has this 18-year-old making plans to pack up and move west, leaving Baltimore behind.
Doctor's appointments and all that stuff, and then, yeah, I'll be able to get up out of here.
Just based off of ballistics so far, investigators have said that as many as 16 weapons could have been used in this mass shooting earlier this month. Today, I asked Douglas if he's received any indication what kind of weapon he was struck with, both in his groin and in his leg, and he said no, but he thinks he was in the crossfire of a 9mm. Amy Simpson, Fox 45 News.
Well, taking another live look from City Hall right now, we expect Richard Worley to be officially nominated as the next police commissioner. This nomination will come as Worley faces questions about the department's response to the mass shooting. Last week, Worley said it could take at least one more month to answer why no officer was at that Brooklyn Day event, even though 911 calls were coming in as early as 6:57 that evening.
We missed a lot of points. We missed a lot of indicators that this was happening.
So you had 700 people at an event, and you had to wait for something to happen.
So I'm having a hard time grappling with how we could have a call of that type come in, and yet there was still no police response.
Well, we have also heard from the president of the Baltimore chapter of the NAACP. They have concerns about the future of BPD.
This incident, we told you guys this incident was going to happen when we had our last press conference. This is why you need community engagement on the front end before you bring in a police commissioner. So I hope that every member of this council is taking very seriously your responsibility to vet a police commissioner.
Well, Keith Daniels is at City Hall right now. He will have the latest on the news at 10 tonight. A member of the Baltimore City Council calling for the state to push back on BGE's plan to raise rates. Under the company's plan, Baltimore residents would end up paying hundreds of dollars more for their gas and electric in the coming years than they do right now. City Council member Zeke Cohen now promising to introduce a resolution asking the Maryland Public Service Commission to reject the plan. Cohen joined by residents called the hikes unnecessary.
BGE has not been a good enough partner to our city residents. BGE's plan to upgrade everyone to medium gas pressure services feels like an expensive solution in need of a problem.
In response to Cohen's push to shut down the rate hikes, BGE released a statement saying the councilmen and speakers are misrepresenting the company's multi-year plan. The company claiming the investments and costs associated with renovations are key for the safety of the city's gas delivery system and will help work towards the state's net zero emissions goal by 2045.
Now, a Fox 45 News alert in 3, 2, 1.
There was a deadly double shooting in West Baltimore. Baltimore police say around 9 in the morning, officers responded to a home on Delano Court in Sandtown, Winchester. A 35-year-old man and 34-year-old woman had been shot inside. The man was pronounced dead at the scene. The woman taken to the hospital in critical condition. Now this year, 152 people have been killed in Baltimore. 359 have been shot and survived. Now, while those numbers are down from last year, some are concerned about the number of carjackings, assaults, and also thefts that are happening. Mary?
Kai, thank you. Well, here's our look at today's top trending stories. Number one, jury selection is complete in the murder of Timothy Reynolds. He is the Baltimore driver shot and killed last summer downtown during an encounter with a group of squeegee kids. In court today, the state claimed DNA evidence linking the suspect to a Windex spray bottle at the scene had not been processed yet. The judge ultimately deciding it was an unfortunate situation, but not a good enough reason to push the case back any further.
I was elated because we did not want to postpone this case any further. If it gotten postponed today, then we will be waiting until 2024 to go to trial, and this doesn't require that. This case is not very complicated because you have a videotape that really shows what happened on that day.
Tomorrow, we will be hearing opening statements and the case will proceed accordingly. And despite a lengthy witness list, the judge says she is hopeful the trial could wrap up as early as next Tuesday. Number 2, key testimony today in the murder trial against the man accused of killing Akia Eggleston. She is the pregnant Baltimore woman who disappeared in 2017, and now her boyfriend is charged with murder. The police lieutenant who interviewed Michael Robinson spoke today. The state also played his first interview with Baltimore police 5 weeks after Akia Eggleston had been reported missing. Robertson said the last time he saw Akia was about a week before her baby shower on May 7th. The state also revealed his Google searches.
The Google searches were a little alarming to hear that he searched waste dumping, facts about waste dumping in Baltimore County and Baltimore City, drained. Friends, family, all had their prayers out for us, but it's emotionally draining.
We're told more investigators are scheduled to testify tomorrow. Once the state is finished, the defense will begin to call witnesses.
What is the future of FISA? I'm Christine Frizzell on Capitol Hill, where lawmakers are threatening to remove some of the surveillance powers top intelligence officials have come to rely upon.
And it's a very hot and humid and hazy evening. I'll let you know when the air quality improves and when to expect our next chance for rain in my Weather Authority forecast.
And are you feeling lucky? The huge Powerball drawing ahead tonight.
Fox 45 News, winner of 16 2022 Regional Emmy Awards, more than all other Baltimore news stations combined.
All right, Powerball players, you have a chance tonight at winning nearly $900 million. It comes after no one won on Saturday. It has been the case some 36 times since April. The top prize is now the third biggest Powerball jackpot ever and the 7th largest in U.S. lottery history. The odds of winning are roughly 1 in 300 million. Tune into the news at 11. We will have those winning numbers for you. Well, right now in Washington, there's debate on what extent should officials from our top intelligence agencies be able to gather information about American citizens. The Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act is supposed to only be used to gather information about non-U.S. citizens, but some of its powers are set to expire in a few months. National correspondent Christine Frizzau explains what could happen next.
For years, both Democrats and Republicans have been making the case something needs to change.
How many American communications are collected under Section 702? The government cannot and will not say.
204,000 times the FBI improperly searched the 702 database.
Section 702 of FISA, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, was enacted back in 2008 as a temporary tool to combat terrorism.
The bottom line is that Section 702 gives us the intelligence that's necessary for us to stay one step ahead of our adversaries.
Top officials laying out some of our country's greatest threats: the Chinese government's efforts to spy and steal sensitive technologies, North Korea's nuclear program, and Russia's invasion of Ukraine. But critics in Congress say those national security threats are being used as a shield to violate privacy rights of Americans. New outrage following the release of this report, stating the Defense Intelligence Agency provides funding to another agency that purchases commercially available geolocation metadata aggregated from smartphones.
This is just an extremely important issue for the American people to understand how their data is being used. That is location data, that is biometric information, it's medical and mental health information.
FBI Director Chris Wray insisted the practice is no longer occurring, but privacy experts warn the information already collected is still searchable.
This includes searches for Black Lives Matter protesters, individuals associated with January 6th. So wherever you are on the political spectrum, the extent to which this authority has morphed into a domestic surveillance tool should deeply trouble you.
Section 702 of FISA is set to expire at the end of this year, so the debate will carry on. Now, critics worry despite these threats, lawmakers will pass it once again, but hope significant reforms are made to prevent it from being abused. On Capitol Hill, I'm Christine Frizzau.
Right now, you're taking a look over the harbor and over Towson. It's very hazy in both locations as we deal with smoke from Canadian wildfires. But on the HD radar, you see some rain as we get ready for the next weather maker that could lead to a few very stray showers tonight before more rain tomorrow. 88 for the current temperature, and here's another look over the harbor. Very hazy. Our visibility reduced to 4 miles. So just be prepared for another round of hazy conditions tomorrow and once again on Wednesday as the Canadian wildfire smoke continues to impact our region. Temperatures, on the other hand, mainly in the upper 80s, even the low 90s in some areas. But as we head into the night, we will start to get some relief from the heat as temperatures fall to the 70s. Then for the afternoon, it's back to the hot 90s. We're looking at the mid 90s for Tuesday afternoon. That's followed by the low 90s on Wednesday and on Thursday. We'll have the chance for showers on each day as we deal with an unsettled pattern. Now, we also have the chance for a little bit of rain tonight as we get ready for this cold front to enter the region. Ahead of that, we're already seeing some areas with rain and storms, but we're talking about getting clipped by the system. So maybe an isolated or stray shower closer to the state line around 11, 12 o'clock. The rest of us stay mostly dry. We'll start with plenty of sunshine tomorrow morning. More clouds arrive for the afternoon, and then the showers and the storms follow. These will be very spotty. Not everyone will be dealing with that rain, but we could have a few more showers and storms as we get closer to 5, 6 o'clock. If you have a commute around that time, just be prepared for the chance of a little bit of rain. We'll be dry by midnight, and then we start off with dry weather on Wednesday. We'll have the typical summer pattern with a dry start, and then showers and storms for the afternoon. That's followed by another round of rain and storms on Thursday and again on Friday, all before a dry Saturday and Sunday. We'll have another chance for rain and storms on Monday. Temperatures fall to 73 with a few passing clouds and hazy conditions. And tomorrow, highs reach the mid-90s with hazy conditions and then a few afternoon storms. Coming up, I'll have a look at how high temperatures will be for the rest of the week in the exclusive 10-day forecast.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Canadian wildfire smoke is back in many parts of the country today, including here in South Bend, Indiana. It's not smoke, but dust from the Sahara Desert in North Africa that has settled into Texas skies. It will likely get thicker this week before thinning out by the weekend. And temperatures soared in Death Valley on Sunday, but they didn't break the all-time record of 134 degrees.
For more content like this, follow the National Weather Desk on Twitter.
If you have this bug, you don't want to go to the pool. I'm Liz Bonus. It is going around nationwide. Cases on the rise. We explain just ahead.
An illness that causes bad GI systems has now been reported in at least 31 states, including right here in Maryland. Medical reporter Liz Bonus shares why it's raising concern.
Hey there, hello to you. Part of the concern about this intestinal illness is that if you get this illness, you need to stay out of a swimming pool so it does not spread. And in prime pool season, as this map shows, from Texas to Ohio to New York, it is spreading. It's a foodborne illness called Cyclospora. As this graphic provided by the CDC shows, it's caused by a microscopic parasite.
It's a typical gastrointestinal illness for which diarrhea predominates.
Cyclospora infection is often linked to spices and other fresh foods, according to public health provider Steve Fagans. The FDA has linked 20 of the cases so far in Alabama and Georgia to fresh broccoli, but can't find one producer or type in traceback investigations. The most recent CDC data shows more than 581 cases of it have now been reported in at least 31 states since April. Nearly 400 of them, however, have been in the last 3 weeks. Sick people range in age from 3 to 96. While no deaths have been reported, more than 50 people have been hospitalized so far from Cyclospora. One antibiotic does work to treat it, but the most important thing to know is this.
And so an individual who's diagnosed with Cyclospora is really told not to go to a public swimming pool for 14 days because chlorine doesn't kill it.
It is suggested you get tested for this if you've had a GI bug that doesn't seem to go away. I'm medical reporter Liz Bonus. Back to you.
We are getting ready for our next round of rain and storms. They start tomorrow afternoon, but it won't be a washout. High temperatures will be in the mid-90s, and it will be a little hazy. Also on Wednesday, hazy conditions and highs in the low 90s. We have the chance for more spotty afternoon storms, and that's followed by rain on Thursday and Friday. We'll stay dry on Saturday and Sunday, and next week we're looking at the upper 80s and the low 90s. Mary?
Jasmine, thank you. Well, a big recognition tonight for a hometown hero. We're talking about Randallstown native and LSU basketball star Angel Reese. Look at there. She's here today. Baltimore County leaders dedicated the playground she played on in her name and the basketball hoops. The Scotts Branch Recreation Activity Center just underwent some major renovations, and now it is named Angel Reese Court. And look at all the people that she is influencing out there today. She's amazing.
I go to LSU, but Baltimore, Randallstown is always home for me. So I just want to thank everybody for coming and to give hope for the kids in the crowd that one day this can be you.
She also went to St. Francis Academy in Baltimore City. Reese led the LSU Tigers to their first NCAA women's basketball championship this year. So good to see her back in Maryland. Well, that's all for Fox 45 News at 6. Family Feud is next. We'll see you back here for the news at 10 tonight. Have a great night.